Welcome back into the first trade recap of the month of November, and we're starting it out with a good old fake out. How's that sound? We lost $178 if you round it up, trading the NASDAQ short today. Now, so for this trade recap, or for this trade, let's just get into it. I'm looking over here at the NASDAQ. I'm just like I always do. I come into today. Now, I know today is November 4th. I know it's the day before the election. I know, okay, yes, I get it. But I come into today and I'm thinking to myself, okay, I don't know if I'm going to see anything. I probably won't, but, I always open mind, like I always do. Always have an open mind, just kind of, the way I like to play things. I never like to think that, today is a bad day because it's fucking raining. You know what I mean? If the chart's there, setup is there, and we're not dealing with an earnings report coming out momentarily or in the next couple of days, on a swing trade, or we don't have CPI coming out momentarily, or there's no Fed speaker coming out momentarily, or Powell's not speaking, we'll take a trade as I normally do. So I kind of go in, daily time frames. I say, okay, here's the NASDAQ. I go, yep, we had a false breakout, or, and I wouldn't even say a false breakout. It tried to get going. It couldn't break the upside last week. And then a pretty big move down. And then I see, kind of Friday was kind of, inside bar. And I'm like, we break the bottom of this. Generally speaking, that's a great look for a downside. How much? I don't know. I think a move into these lows would be a pretty good spot for a first target or for a target. So I'm okay. Do we have a setup? And as I look out and I look through, we do. I mean, we legitimately have exactly what I want to see. And that starts to break to the downside. So we start to break to the downside on the 4-hour time frame. I ended up coming into this and saying, I'm going to move to the 1 hour. I just liked the 1 hour. I know it's a little more action going on. I just liked the 1 hour entry better than the 4 hour entry would be. So I see this. I'm like, even better, 1 hour breaking down. I enter not at the bottom of this candle. I actually enter not at the top here. I enter somewhere in between, somewhere in there. Okay, you can go into the trade. Well, I'm not sure if the exact price points will be the same here, but here it's on the NASDAQ 100 based off the prop firm I'm trading on. You can see the average exit, average entry, average exit and entry. Planned R multiple 1.67. Not terrible, not amazing. I was looking to make about $300 in the trade, risking about 175. So felt pretty good to me for a risk reward profile. It's kind of it's a standard, target. And simply put, we have a massive fake out. Simple as that. Now, did I go into today expecting a fake out? No, I mean, I don't necessarily go into days expecting that, but would today, as I step back, would today make more sense? No, potentially, because we have the election. So do we really think that we're going to get a massive downside day or upside day the day before the election? I don't know. We could. We might not. I don't like to think and attach a bias to how I think price action is going to play out, because I simply do not know. And so all I like, this is like as I've been doing for 18 months. All I do is I take the shots and I set my stops. As simple as that. Take the shots, set my stops, and take profits, and you manage your risk. Let's say it worked out. Boom. I'll actually show you a reasoning why. Potentially why I took this trade based off of last week. So if I jump out to, not potentially why, this is part of the reason why, I jump out to last week and I see the same situation here, right? We kind of have this uptrend that breaks down, not as clean. Like this is a little bit tighter inside of a bigger picture downtrend. So actually, honestly, a better setup here. But I go and say to myself, I remember last week saying, well, this didn't really fit my criteria, but we had a pretty big move off the back of that breakdown. So I'm like, if we get something even remotely similar on the bear flag side, I will take that, which is what we got. It just completely was a fake out. Simple as that. You could get pissed and say, fuck this shit, fuck me. Because it's like, how much longer? But this is an example, I think, of having to kind of weather the storm, right? We're not having this. Did I know? We could have, for all I knew, we could have had a massive downside day. The day before the election, everyone's panicking. Oh my God, what's going to happen? Oh my God. And we could have had a massive sell-off day, for all I knew. And then it would have worked. And I would have been sitting back saying, yep, check it out, made $300. Like, And so, I mean, you don't know. I don't know. I take my shots when I see the opportunities. And in this case, it was a fake out. So how do you prevent yourself from getting faked out? I do not think that there is a There is no answer to that question. There simply is no answer. You are going to get faked out. All you can do is create in my view, on the breakout side, in this case, a breakdown, all I could do is create a strategy that more often than not, with how I manage my risk, makes money, which it has proven to me over the past 18 months. The past month and a half, maybe not so much. Actually, the past month, not so much. But the past 18, big picture, I look at it and I say, I got an edge. So there's no reason to turn on it by any means. I think that there's an adjustment to be made, or to be honest, maybe there's no adjustment to be made. Maybe it's just, this is a period going into this election that we have a really, choppy environment. And on the backside, maybe things are completely different. I don't know. I have no idea. Who knows? We don't, you don't, I don't. And so this is how we play it. So that's the recap. Lost 177. This is on a $25,000 account. Not bad by any means, but at the same time, let me just make sure I put the trend line in there. Custom tags. I was on the 1 hour time frame entry. Pretty quick trade, honestly. Was just a fake out. Now, what you could also do, what I could say to myself here is hey, fake out to the downside. Let's go play the reverse, get in long, enter long here, stop under there, and let it ride. Could do that. I could. And technically speaking, if I did that this is a fair place to do it inside of a bigger picture uptrend. Yep, I see it. Just going into tomorrow with the election, I just don't really care to do that. I just don't care. I just, if it happens, it happens. And I'm okay with not taking that trade. You're adding in the discretionary aspect, which is a massive piece of trading, as I have come to discover. And that is when it comes to the edge, as I'm realizing more and more, it's not about necessarily the charts and the patterns, because that's not they're gonna be there, but then they're also not gonna be there. They're gonna work, they're not gonna work. It's more in, of course, how you manage your risk, but then when you take the trades. And so I think the biggest lesson for this year, now this is all, I haven't traded through an election year before. I mean, I technically have, but I didn't trade the way that I trade now. I didn't trade this strategy, tracking the data the way I'm tracking it through an election year. So I don't know. So you're just taking this as a lesson and taking it in stride and moving on. We'll see. The only way we're going to know, the only way we're really going to know is we go into end of year. And as we move into the end of the year, how do we kind of play this from here? Do we, into end of year, do we turn the corner? And after the election, do we start getting some breakouts or breakdowns that are working better? And are we making money? Or is it the same exact problem? And if it's the same problem, then we have to make an adjustment. But if it's not the same problem and we kind of go back to, and things are working better, then there's nothing to do. You know what I mean? There's no reason to change the approach. I don't think, as of now. So that's my 2 cents. Hope it was helpful. That's a recap for today. Lost 177 on a $25,000 account. Not a lot of money in the grand scheme when you're talking about that size of an account. So this is how I play it. Keep it tight, and we'll see. I do have open positions, so we'll see if we can close one of those out this week, or 2 of those, or 3 of those. There's 3 open ones. 2 of them have been big picture swings. Actually, they've all been big picture swings. One looks good. Walmart looking pretty good. You know what I mean? We're in the green. We'll see what happens. Silver, not so much. It's just back testing the breakout point. I want to see what happens here. If it can't hold it, we're going to get stopped. And then same thing on Bitcoin, pretty much same exact thing on silver and Bitcoin, just a little bit different charts. So we're going to see. We're going to see what happens. And we'll go from there. So that's the first recap of November. I'm hopeful that this is a better month, but at the same time, I can't, I sat down the other day and I said, okay, I usually kind of put together, kind of main goals or, ideas of things I want to do in the next month or so. I try to do that every month. So I'll be honest, some months I stick to them. Sometimes I just forget about them and I don't do them. And it's oh man, fuck. And I put it back on the list for the next month. And one of the things that I did was in the past, not recently, but in the past, I would say I want to make this much money, or I want to have a better month execution-wise. It went from a dollar figure to execution to then I simply removed trading from the goal list completely. Because the way that I think about it, I cannot control that. If the market wants to give me no setups this month, which obviously we took one, but let's say that it gives me no more, then I technically would have no trades. I don't want to have a thought in the back of my head that I have to trade in order to meet this goal, or in order to meet this execution goal, or to say, okay, well, I did everything that I was supposed to do, because like I don't want to have like I don't want that pressure. Not that there's the pressure, but I don't want to even think about that. Like it is legitimately its own beast that I'm going to like. I have instead of trying to like take the reins and let's fucking go, I'm like legitimately stepping back and saying it's gonna do what it's gonna do, and I'm gonna do what I do. And whatever happens, happens. We'll make the adjustments. We'll learn the lessons. We'll move forward. We'll make the adjustments. We'll learn the lessons. We'll move forward. We'll take the trades. We'll make some money. We'll lose some money. We'll see what happens. We'll learn the lessons, and we'll move forward. And that's kind of the approach, instead of having this goal of like, oh, I want to make $200,000, or I want to make $10. You know, it doesn't matter in my view. It's because you are not the market. You are the market's bitch, not the other way around. So that's the recap. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.